Did you think I've forgotten my town? Here are 3 haunted places in Reno, Nevada.
Lake Mansion, Reno, Nevada.
Given the history of distress and hardship within its walls, it is understandable that Lake Mansion, with nearly 150 years of existence, is often associated with accounts of supposed hauntings. The mansion's origins are marked by events characterized by sorrow, affecting every room, corridor, and section of the property. The Lake Mansion has changed owners frequently, with many leaving quickly due to reports of sinister spirits, cold spots, strange noises, and ghostly apparitions. Also, reports of an enduring somber atmosphere that many visitors claim to notice today.
One story is that the home is haunted by Myron Lake, who was ironically never allowed to live in it despite being its most famous owner. A widow, Jane Bryant, and her 4 children were subjected to horrific abuse from Myron Lake beginning as early as 1870. Despite his wealth, Lake was known for a volatile temperament and violent behaviors toward his wife behind closed doors. After accusing his wife of having an affair, Lake in 1897 purchased a luxurious home on Virginia and California streets from W.J. Marsh and this mansion to apologize for his ceaseless abuse.
Relations between the couple had deteriorated to such an extent that Jane declined to move into the residence. Ultimately, they filed for divorce citing domestic battery and cruelty. Following Lake's death in 1884, Jane inherited the mansion after legally contesting its ownership with Lake's second wife, Mary Ann. By 1899, however, Jane was unable to maintain either her livelihood or the property, leading to its sale in 1902. She passed away the following year.
The most frequently reported ghost at Lake Mansion is Jane Bryant, whose spirit is said to linger due to her unresolved connection to the property after a long legal battle. Her ghostly figure is often seen at the windows, unable to leave the estate she fought for. The mansion remains known for its persistent supernatural presence tied to its history. Levy Mansion, Reno, Nevada.
Wilhelm Levy, originally from Germany, immigrated to the United States in the late 19th century. After operating dry goods stores in several Nevada boom towns, he relocated to Reno in 1887 with his business partner, Jacob Morris. Their partnership proved successful, allowing them to accumulate significant wealth through investments in mining companies and ultimately secure a prominent dry goods store in downtown Reno. In 1895, William established his own Palace dry goods store on East 2nd Street, featuring 2 levels and expansive plate glass windows for window shopping.
During a business trip, William met and subsequently married Tilly Goldsmith in 1895, adopting her Jewish faith. Together, they had 2 daughters, Fritzie and Mildred. The Levy family frequently traveled to San Francisco, and, following William's procurement of supplies for his store, they settled. William commissioned the construction of a 3-story classical revival house on South Sierra Street for his family. The family resided there until 1912, when Tilly's mother, Sophie, passed away from cancer in the home. Subsequently, William suffered a stroke and died in 1920, which deeply affected the family. Further tragedy struck in 1938 when Tilly died suddenly at age 68 during a visit to San Francisco.
Among the notable stories associated with the Levy Mansion is the unique arrangement made by Fritzie and Mildred Levy after their inheritance of the property. Disinterested in returning to Reno following her marriage to a prominent San Francisco doctor, Fritzie opted not to reside in the mansion. Mildred continued to live in the residence, and the sisters agreed to divide ownership along the middle of the property. This division resulted in part of the structure resting on Fritzie's half.
To resolve this, Mildred engaged a house mover to shift and rotate the home 90 degrees so that it would face California Avenue. This alteration accounts for the Levy house often being documented with 2 historical addresses, marking an unusual chapter in its history. Mildred remained single and lived in the house until her death in 1978, while Fritzie passed away in 1988, closing the Levy family's chapter in Reno. Curiously, despite reports that their gravestones are in San Francisco, they have not been found.
Washoe County Courthouse, Reno, Nevada.
During the era of the Old West, Reno was known for its high rates of crime such as gambling, shootouts, and prostitution. But these weren't the only legal troubles filling up the courts. Notably, Reno played a major role in the American divorce industry, even giving rise to the popular expression, "going to Reno," as a reference to seeking a legal separation. Why did this seemingly ordinary Western town gain such a strong association with divorce? In Reno, a decree could be obtained in just 6 weeks, making the process much shorter than in many other U.S. cities. As a result, Reno earned the nickname, "Divorce Capital of the World," with more than 30,000 divorces taking place there from 1929 to 1939.
Although most divorce cases handled by this court were routine, some presented challenges. On November 23, 1960, Robert Williams and Emma Snyder, who had already divorced, appeared at the Washoe County Courthouse to resolve a disagreement over property. The judge sided with Emma, a decision that visibly displeased Robert. After a judge told him to shut up and accept the decision, Robert snapped and opened fire on the courtroom with a hidden .38 revolver. Sadly, an attorney was struck by one of Robert's bullets and died in the following days, but otherwise, no one was seriously harmed. This incident shows that even though divorces were quick in Reno, they weren't always peaceful.
The spirit of Joseph Rover at the courthouse.
Although fast and easy divorces were perhaps the most common type of cases to be overseen at the Washoe County Courthouse, there's also a much darker, deeply saddening side to this building's history, one that involves the deadly, false accusation of one Joseph Rover, the first and only person to be executed in Reno. This case took place in the late 19th century, prior to the construction of the present-day Washoe County Courthouse. Rover was charged with the murder of his business partner, Ellen Sharp, which occurred in the Black Rock Desert approximately 140 miles from Reno. He was executed by hanging in front of the courthouse in February 1878 after no one came forward to attest to his innocence. In 1895, Frank McWorthy confessed on his deathbed that he, and not Rover, had been responsible for Sharp's death. Nowadays, Joseph is considered the most frequently seen ghost at the Washoe County Courthouse. People have claimed to spot Rover's spirit roaming outside, close to the old gallows where he was hanged more than 100 years ago. It seems his uneasy soul remains earthbound, endlessly longing for someone to prove his innocence for a crime he never committed.
Starting from the southern Nevada cities such as Boulder City, Goodsprings, and Las Vegas, moving through central locations like Rhyolite, Goldfield, and Tonopah, and finally reaching northwestern cities including Carson City and Virginia City. These cities are notable for documented ghost sightings and stories, making them popular destinations. I chose locations that are well known and have verified investigations. I hope you enjoyed my series of haunted places in Nevada.